Hi everyone, my name's Gail Davis and I'm going to try and answer your questions. Today I thought I'd help answer the question, which Bible do I use for my Kindy, for my centre? Which Bible would be the best to use with these young children? It's a question I often hear and I thought, well, this might be a good opportunity to explain it a little bit about what Bible, which Bible, if you have a Bible or Bible stories, would be the best for your kindergarten centre. So first of all, we need to have an understanding of the difference between a Bible and a Bible storybook. That's one of the problems that we have in deciding this. So we need to be clear about what we're looking at. Both Bibles and Bible storybooks have a place in your centre. So we have a responsibility, though, in our Catholic system to introduce the children to the Bible, the foundational religious text of our faith. So we need to be able to get this right. So we come to the dilemma, the Bible. I have one here, which I'll show you. Actually, I have lots of Bibles. I have one here, the Catholic Children's Bible. Now, it's a massive book, massive, and it's an ancient text, over 2,000 years old, the entire Bible, up to nearly 3,000 years old. So it's an ancient text. It's ambiguous, and it's very, very diverse. But it's our foundational religious text, the Bible. So that's, the problem is, this was not written for children. It is very difficult even for adults to interpret and to use and understand and read the Bible. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, that was a problem. People in educational centres especially started with catechus, with Sunday school. How am I going to share this Bible, these wonderful stories with children when it wasn't written for children? The language is very difficult for them to understand. So it began that people were rewriting and adapting the stories from the Bible into children's story books. First Bible stories, so storybooks. So they actually took some of the stories, they adapted the text, they adapted the language, they adapted the images, and what's happened is some of those adaptations, even though they make lovely stories, are far removed from the original text. So they're not actually looking much like what the original Bible scripture story was supposed to be saying. So they're not a true Bible. That's not really what you're going to be introducing students to the Bible with if you're starting with Bible stories. Sometimes even in these books you'll find too, they don't even have, like this is called Bible stories, it's not the entire Bible. The authors of this have just selected the stories that they felt have the best dramatic effect in storytelling with children. Some of the images that they've used are not accurate to the context of which the Bible was written. And a great example of like elaboration on Bible stories to the point where they're just not like the Bible is the Action Bible. This is written like a graphic novel, and some of the images in there are so highly dramatised that they make the Bible out to be a book of superhero stories rather than the actual stories are the basis for our religious faith, because the Bible is a book of our faith, not a historical document in telling the accurate history, but it's a book of our faith. So this sort of book too has removed itself so far away from biblical text that you cannot actually call it a Bible, but it's an Action Bible stories. So what's the dilemma? What's the solution? What's the answer? The actual answer is quite simple. Both of those sorts of books, the Bible, the true Bible, biblical text, plus Bible storybooks, can have a place in your Kindy centre. You need to have for the students to see, for the children to see, an actual Bible. I would recommend this one as the best Bible you can use in your centre. It is an accurate biblical text. It starts with all of the books of the Old Testament, all of the books of the New Testament. It has the text written by book, chapter and verse, the way the Bible is set out. The pages are very fine. They can see the number of pages. This Bible, which is a Bible, it has all of the biblical texts in it. It hasn't just selected some, but all. It also has some appropriate images. It also has a little bit more of information for the teachers as well. It is a proper Bible. It needs to be in the classroom so the students can see this is our Bible. It needs to be treated with the respect of our Bible. On your sacred space, you could have this Bible and have it open. Have the children be able to teach it, to touch it with reverence, turning the pages, seeing how the text is set out so it's different from storybooks. Have that as a proper Bible in your centre so they can see it. Have the Bible storybooks, which are more selective as to the stories they take. They don't have the entire biblical text in it. They have, images and that. It is a storybook. Put it on the storybook shelf. So there's a difference. You can also have two on the storybook shelf. There are big books that take some of these biblical stories. These big books actually go with that children's Bible, so the text is very similar, but it's still a storybook and it goes on the storybook shelf. So the answer is twofold. Have a proper Bible. If you've got your own Bible, your family Bible from home, or your own personal Bible, bring that and put it somewhere special. Have it sitting on a Bible stand. Have it so the children can see this is different. In our Mass, our Catholic Mass, we stand to listen to the Gospels when they're proclaimed as an act of respect. Keep the Bible somewhere so it is seen as different from the storybook Bibles and the stories on the storybook shelves, so they can see this is a Bible. These are stories someone's taken and adapted from the Bible. They're not written by the images are beautiful and pretty, but some of them are too far removed from the actual context of when that story was written. So I hope that answers your question. Which Bible to use? Use a proper Bible. There is a place for a proper Bible. And have the Bible stories on the storybook shelf so they can see the difference. Okay, thanks everyone, and I'll talk to you next time.